So I've been wondering a little bit. When is enough enough? Where is the line in the sand where maybe we're going overboard with this? You know? I understand that, especially in the circles I travel in, that there is a certain degree of autistic, like, you know, detectiveness. We are always prying around. We're always looking over every small thing. We're very skeptical. That kind of thing, and I understand it. And people are going to think what they're going to think. But I wonder if there's ever just a line where I feel like maybe we go in too far with it to a degree. At what point does it become we're finding issues that we can view as legitimate, and then just when does it become we're just looking for excuses to clown on the thing? Now, I'm not saying you're not allowed to be negative against a certain thing, in particular James Gunn's Superman. I'm not saying that, no. You are going to have your own personal feelings, viewpoints, and whatnot, and to tell you to not have those would be pointless in my regard and really stupid and hypocritical. But what I see here is I've seen some people who kind of take it a little bit much for my liking. I feel that they take like the smallest things, And while I am a person who is optimistic and wants to hope for the best for James Gunn's Superman, and I'm willing to give this a chance, I can definitely understand the apprehension some people would have and certain issues. And while I may not agree with them, I can understand it and I can see where they're coming from. But there are some people who take the smallest little bit of things, be it marketing, maybe a scene, a particular way the line was uttered, or like even just like how a character walks, and just I don't know. It always feels like there's the smallest stuff there when there are legitimate things in the movie that that we've seen in the promotion and whatnot. That okay, maybe I could understand your point of view. I can see it. Maybe if I don't agree with it, I can understand. I understand a lot of people's issue with this movie is they feel that it has too much of James Gunn's in it. Like, he's basing the crypto kind of off of his dog. He's got people that he's very close friends with in a lot of key roles, like his brother and whatnot. There's stuff like that, which is like, okay, I can kind of see what the issue is there, and and I'm not going to say you aren't valid in having that type of opinion. It's like, okay, that's a genuine concern I can understand. But when it gets to the point of, like, this character isn't going to do it in this regard, or blah, 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 when I feel like we've seen this character done stuff before, and they're like, I've seen some people give this version of Lois crap because of how she talks to Clark in one scene that was revealed where she's doing like an interview on Clark, or more like a practice interview, and she's like hitting him with like super hard questions. And it's like, well, it's Lois Lane. She's not going to play softball, with it. But I don't know. And I've seen insufferable Lois Lanes before, and this one, at least to me, doesn't strike that far. I don't know. Overall, I think this cynical autism level that people do in this sphere, I feel like I feel like it only really realistically can go so far before it gets to a point that it's like, okay, at this point we are literally just digging up reasons, or in case making up reasons to come up with a way to say, hey, I don't like this, blah 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 blah. When I feel like there's plenty of actual legitimate issues with this film and whatnot that you can at least say, okay, I'm not sure about this film, or in an extreme sense, I hate this film already type thing, But I feel like, it just doesn't really, it feels a little forced in some regards, you know? And that just makes me kind of tired and bored, really, because it's just like I want the movie to come out now, just so we can get this over with, because I'm sort of tired of this insane mindset. Maybe I'm tired of negativity or whatever. I don't know. I thrive off of it in my own sense, so I don't know if I'm much better, but I feel like with this one, I don't know. I feel like while there were some legitimate complaints, I feel like there's some things that people are just sort of forcing it. They're faking it. It just doesn't feel right. I don't feel the heart and the soul in it. I feel like you're just kind of doing it for appearance sake or something. I don't know. This video is not exactly a very planned one. This is just me sort of babbling my mind out, and I don't know, maybe someone can make sense of it. I don't know. But I want this movie to be good. I want this movie to be a good Superman movie that really understands the essence of him and captures what fans have been wanting in the big screen for a long time, because we didn't quite get that with the Henry Cavill version because of Zack Snyder and all that. We squandered all that kind of stuff. So I want this to really hit the mark, and I'm hopeful. Now, if it's bad, it's bad, and that's the end of the day there. I just want this movie out so we can talk about it, and at the very least put this whole thing behind us, because I'm kind of tired of this strange, super cynical, autistic way where we're just combing through the smallest things, and we're trying to make minds out of anthills. That's just my point of view. People can agree with me, people can disagree with me, call me a dum-dum. That's your prerogative, that's your right, But I'm just kind of bored of this sort of stuff,